Welcome, friends. Today we journey into the mist-covered valleys of the Appalachian Mountains, where the Cherokee people have lived for centuries, holding close a prophecy that feels more urgent than ever. When the deer begin to leave the forest, it's not just a poetic phrase. It's a sacred warning passed down through generations. According to Cherokee tradition, deer are not just animals. They are spirit beings, messengers of balance, moving in harmony with the earth. But now, deer are showing up in city streets, in neighborhoods, even near ancient burial sites. What does it mean when the forest no longer holds them? Could this be the collapse of the boundary between the natural world and the human world? And could this ancient prophecy be unfolding before our very eyes? Stay with us as we explore this powerful Cherokee teaching and what it says about our relationship with the earth today. If this speaks to you, please like, share, and comment. We'd love to hear your thoughts and stories. Now, let's begin with the deer and the signs they bring. In Cherokee cosmology, the deer, especially the white-tailed deer, holds deep spiritual meaning. It moves with gentleness and grace, quietly weaving through the forest like a whisper. The deer teaches balance. It takes only what it needs, never more. It lives in harmony with the land, a silent guardian of sacred reciprocity. To the Cherokee, a deer is not just an animal. It is a messenger, a spirit guide, one that reminds us to walk with humility, with awareness, and with respect for all life. In the old stories, deer and humans once lived in close communion. There was trust. There was ceremony. But over time, humans grew careless. They hunted without gratitude. They killed without prayer. And so, the deer began to withdraw, not out of anger, but as a response to imbalance. Their silence was a message, a gentle warning. When respect fades, connection is lost. Today, their presence still speaks to those who listen. The deer offers a quiet invitation to return to harmony with the earth, to walk gently. The Cherokee prophecy speaks of a time when the deer will no longer stay in the forest. They will leave the shadows of the trees and enter human spaces, towns, roads, even sacred burial grounds. You will see them in strange places, in growing numbers. Sometimes, in the middle of the day, they may stand still, staring without fear. They may walk toward people, instead of fleeing. Some will seem disoriented, lost, as if searching for something. But this is more than an ecological warning. It is a spiritual one. The deer are messengers, and their message is urgent. The wall between the human world and the animal world is thinning, not because we've grown closer, but because we've drifted too far from the earth. The balance has been broken. The deer cross into our world, not in peace, but in sorrow. They are trying to tell us something sacred, something we've forgotten. Will we listen? Before it's too late. Across the United States, especially on Cherokee ancestral lands, something strange is happening. Deer are being seen in places they never used to go, deep in urban environments, roaming through cities, parking lots, even schoolyards. They are crossing highways in large numbers, leading to a sharp rise in car accidents. They are showing up near cemeteries, in town centers, and on concrete, where the forest once stood. Many appear confused, disoriented. Some stand motionless in broad daylight. Others cluster together in unusual ways, as if unsure where to go. Scientists point to urban sprawl, deforestation, or habitat loss. But in the Cherokee worldview, this is more than biology. It's spiritual. The deer are messengers, and their behavior is a sign of imbalance between people and the natural world. The sacred bond is fraying, and the deer, once symbols of grace and harmony, now move through our cities in distress, not as invaders, but as warnings. Are we paying attention? Or have we forgotten how to listen to the language of the land? Adding to the urgency of the prophecy is the rise of chronic wasting disease, often called zombie deer disease. This fatal illness is spreading across North America, causing emaciation, stumbling, neurological decay, and death. To some Cherokee elders, this is not just a disease. It is the deer wasting away, because the earth itself is sick. But it also reflects us, a mirror of human society, spiritually starved, disconnected from sacred law, and forgetting how to honor life. The deer suffer because we have forgotten who we are. In traditional Cherokee thinking, the world is made of boundaries, not walls, but sacred divisions built on respect. There is a boundary between humans and animals, between the seen and the unseen, between everyday places and the sacred. These boundaries keep the world in balance. They guide how we live, how we pray, how we move through the land. But when deer begin leaving their forest homes, when they enter human towns, cemeteries, and city streets, it means something deeper is happening. The boundaries are dissolving, and with them, the order of the world begins to unravel. We see the signs: confused animal behavior, sacred ceremonies losing their power, ecosystems falling out of rhythm. The deer are not just lost. They are responding to a world where the lines have been blurred by greed, by noise, by forgetting the old ways. Cherokee prophecy warns of this time, a time when the old world will fade. Unless we remember, unless we return to balance. The deer are showing us the path, but we must choose whether to listen or to lose what remains. The deer are not coming into cities to attack or to haunt. In Cherokee belief, they are messengers, bearers of signs, sacred witnesses to the choices humans are making. They leave the forest, not because they choose to, but because it is no longer safe, no longer abundant, no longer honored. They walk among humans, not out of curiosity, but to deliver a final warning. We are being displaced. So are you. Return to balance, or all will suffer. The question is, will we hear them before it's too late? Climate change is accelerating the movement of animals. Rising temperatures, wildfires, shifting food sources are forcing species to move in unfamiliar ways. Deer now migrate farther for food. Bears awaken earlier from hibernation. Birds alter their ancient migratory paths. These are not just ecological changes. They are signals to the Cherokee. The earth is not just soil and stone. It is a living being. And when its rhythms are disrupted, it sends warnings. The deer wandering into cities, onto highways, into sacred places, are more than lost. They are signs that the earth's sacred cycles are out of balance, that the ancient agreements between humans, animals, and the land have been broken. We are not just watching a climate crisis. We are witnessing a spiritual disruption. And unless we restore respect and reciprocity, the imbalance will only deepen. As urban sprawl stretches across the land, it eats away at the edges of the forest. And the deer, they lose their homes. But this isn't just a physical problem. It's a moral one. In Cherokee teachings, the earth is not a resource. It's a relative. Every creature has its place. Every plant its purpose. When humans build without reverence, they do more than pave roads and raise buildings. They displace sacred animal paths. They destroy medicine plants. They poison the water and the soil. And when the deer appear in our streets, It's not just a wildlife issue. It's a reflection, a mirror held up to us all. The world we've built, cluttered, loud, and disconnected, may soon be unlivable, not just for the animals, but for us as well. The question is, will we see it and change? One of the most troubling signs in the Cherokee prophecy is when deer begin to appear near burial grounds and sacred sites. Traditionally, these are protected places, guarded by spiritual boundaries, honored through ceremony and silence. So when deer walk among the graves, it is not natural. It may be a sign that those boundaries have been broken, a violation, through pollution, construction, or neglect, or a message, a plea from the spirit world, asking us to remember what is holy. Some Cherokee elders believe, when the deer walk on graves, the ancestors are weeping. But even in sorrow, there is hope. The prophecy is not a curse. It is an invitation. To return to balance, we are called to preserve forests, protect wild places, stop overbuilding, and plan with respect for all life. Bring back ceremony, offer gratitude, pray before we take, give before we consume. Teach the youth that nature is not a resource, but a relative. If the deer are leaving the forest, because the forest is no longer sacred, then perhaps it is time to make the world sacred again, not just for the deer, but for all of us. In Cherokee tradition, listening is more than hearing. It means opening the spirit to the earth, to the animals, to the invisible world around us. The deer appearing in strange places is only one sign. There are others. The crying of birds in the wrong season, the silence of the frogs, the restless movement of animals into human dreams. Each is a voice. Each carries a message. Together, they warn of a deep disconnection, a spiritual drift that threatens not just humans, but the survival of all living things. But the prophecy is not a deadline. It is not fixed in fate. It is a dialogue between the natural world and the human heart. And that dialogue is still speaking. The question is, are we ready to truly listen? The deer have always moved silently, gracefully, and with purpose. But now, they are moving differently, toward us, into our cities, into our streets, into our sacred places. The Cherokee prophecy warns, this is no accident. It is a final invitation to remember that nature is sacred, that boundaries must be honored, that we must walk gently, like the deer. If we continue to ignore the signs, the world we know, the one built on noise and forgetting, may vanish like mist in the mountains. But if we choose to listen, to change, to return to the old ways of balance and gratitude, then perhaps the deer will return to the forest, and the forest will return to us. The prophecy is still speaking, and the earth is still waiting. Will we answer? If this message moved your heart, please like this video, share it with others who need to hear the deer's call, and subscribe for more sacred stories and wisdom from the earth. Thank you for walking this path with us. Stay aware, stay humble, and stay listening.